Armed Citizen Stories by FirearmPop. The purpose of Armed Citizen Stories is to report criminal encounters as they actually happened to real people, not idealized or sanitized versions of such events. Sometimes armed citizens make mistakes, even bad ones, under extreme stress of a deadly threat. I invite my viewers to discuss these specific situations and consider other ways the situations might have been handled down below in the comments section. Come back often to read the comments of the YouTube community. This video is for informational purposes only. I do not approve of violence of any kind, and these stories should serve to discourage would-be outlaws from harming law-abiding citizens, as well as a reminder to always be prepared. Please pray that you never find yourself in a situation that warrants the use of lethal force. And if you have to, I pray that the Lord has mercy on us.
Hi friends, FirearmPop here, and today I have another in my series of armed citizen stories, and I hope you enjoy these as well. Really, there's only one armed citizen story and another article about unusual responses I'd like to review with you. Okay, let's get started. I received an email from the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, and the subject was armed citizen man shot trying to rob Syracuse store owner pleads guilty in court. Okay, a Syracuse man shot while trying to rob the owner of a store in September admitted guilty in court today. Rayshawn Johnson, 29, pleaded guilty before the State Supreme Court Justice John Brunetti to felony charges of attempted first-degree robbery, attempted second-degree criminal possession of a weapon, and third-degree criminal possession of a weapon. Johnson admitted being armed with a knife and when he tried to rob an employee of the Los Amos convenience store at 204 West Brighton Avenue, September 27th. Assistant District Attorney Carl Johnson said, threatening owner Rubin with a large knife when Cologne pulled out a gun to defend himself. The prosecutor said Johnson tried to grab the gun away from Cologne and was shot once in the side when the gun went off during a struggle over the weapon. Third-degree weapons charge related to the knife Johnson while trying to commit the robbery. The attempted second-degree weapons charge relates to the attempt to wrestle the handgun away from Cologne during the attempted holdup, Armstrong said. Armstrong said Cologne had a proper license for his handgun and did nothing wrong in defending himself against the armed Johnson. She said the prosecution was looking to have Johnson sentenced to 12 years in state prison for the crime, but Brunetti agreed to sentence Johnson to 9 years in prison if the defendant pleaded guilty to the entire indictment. By doing that, the defendant was able to block the prosecution from having a say in the sentence. Johnson accepted the judge's offer and pleaded guilty as charged. Sentencing is set for May 13th. Okay, so another one of those dirtbags away. Now, this is an article coming out of Shooting Illustrated, and the title of the article is Unusual Responses. It says, too often we think a dangerous criminal situation in terms of a violent response. While we should always be ready to deal with a serious criminal threat, the fact is many bad situations are resolved without resorting to violence. As Colonel Jeff Cooper pointed out, our greatest weapon is between our ears. Here are some examples of people who thought their way out of what could have been a bloody situation. Joseph Manton was a British gunmaker in the 19th century. One evening about 1806, he was crossing Howson Heath when he was stopped by an armed highwayman demanding his money. The robber was armed with a flintlock pistol of Manton's own make. Manton pointed out he just didn't think it was fair to be robbed with one of his own guns. The highwayman, probably seeing the humor in the whole episode, told Mason he was so pleased with the pistol that he would only demand the price of the gun back. The gun maker paid up. Okay, Manton went back to his shop and had designed a new handgun, the Highwayman's Master. He also made it a point to be armed with one of those pistols from then on. During the Great Depression, a Texas rancher shipped a load of cattle to Chicago, and he traveled with the livestock to collect his money firsthand. Walking across the stockyard in the dark, the rancher was counting his cash when he was accosted by a robber. Seeing the robber as was armed with a 1911 and appeared nervous, the rancher asked, "What'll you take for that gun, son?" Before the young robber could reply, the rancher handed him a $20 bill, took the .45 out of his hands, and hurried away from the scene. So most criminals are not too smart. Okay, back in the 1970s, a young Texas policeman discovered a business being burglarized late at night, but there was no way he could cover the front and the back door simultaneously until backup arrived. Reacting quickly, he turned on his overhead lights, cranked his siren, and called for backup. He then began to drive around the building as closely and quickly as he could. The burglar later told officers he didn't try to make a run for it because I wasn't going outside with that crazy fool. He might have run me over. The most bizarre response comes from Il Ling Nu, a ranch master at Gunsight. It seems a female student and another lady were returning to their apartment after dark. Once they exited the vehicle and started to walk to the building, they noticed a group of men standing at the front of the building. The men looked street gang types. Unfortunately, neither woman was armed. The two women never broke a stride as they headed for their door. Instead, they started barking at each other, like two dogs having a conversation. Later, the student told Nu she almost broke down laughing at the expressions on the men's faces. They looked at the women, looked at each other, and wiped the alarm, and a wide-eyed alarm went quickly off. They took quickly off. While these stories are entertaining and might bring a chuckle, they also point out the importance of staying alert and thinking quickly. General George Patton said, "A good plan today is better than a perfect plan that is executed at some infinite point in the future." Good old General Patton. Stay alert for danger at all times. Personal defense isn't just about guns and shooting. It also means you need to use and keep your most powerful weapon, the one between your ears, well exercised and well tuned. Okay, I think that was a very enlightening article. And it's very pointed. I mean, we always in the gun community think of solving any confrontation with a gun, but we really have to be quick on our feet and find a better way for a solution than pulling that gun out. Okay, so there was some more food for thought. This is Firearm Pop. Stay safe out there, and God bless. Bye now.